Rise and shine, everybody. It's time to wake and bake with Craig Reed and Griff Martin.
The Stoned Roadie Show, podcast number 228. Wake and Bake the Morning Buzz, episode 105. And good morning, fellow Earthlings. It's October 4th, 2024. Action. All right then, fellow Earthlings, looky here, looky here. My name's Craig Reed, a.k.a. the Stoned Roadie, also known as the world's most famous roadie ever since the dinosaurs roamed this fat, flat earth. And with me, as always, my co-pilot, the rocket scientist, Griff Martin. So what do we got going on this fine Friday morning there, Griff?
I got some information that I can talk about the monument for people that are interested to go into the monument the 19th and the 20th. You probably should start looking at rooms. There's quite a few hotels around there, and I don't think I've ever heard of them selling out. But the Days Inn is where I always stay, because it's like, I think it was like $65 or something when I went up there, and they might start raising that up because they're doing this pretty periodically every year, and then they've got several events, and those Hajis probably end up raising that up, the wise up to it. So I'd check it out. But they did remodel that Days Inn. There's a picture of Craig when he was fat. I actually,
obese, double obese.
Yeah.
Obese is 35 pounds over your normal weight. So I lost 80 pounds. So I was over double obese. So I got a right to talk about fat people.
Craig's fired up because somebody, and I didn't tell him who it was, but somebody mentioned to me, if you got, and I respect this person a lot. They didn't know, they didn't realize, but they said, if Craig would back off on the fat talk, the subscription would go up. And I agree, they would. But what I explained to him was, when you have a Lynyrd Skynyrd plane crash survivor, basically almost a band member. I've had so many people, and I was even in Darlene Van Zant's condo sitting there talking to her, and this was many years ago, not many years ago, but probably 2018 or something, and she found out that I was friends with Craig, and it was just her and I sitting in there waiting on Johnny to come over, and because that's when I was friends with Johnny's mother-in-law, and she died from lung cancer, but a really sweet, nice lady. And Darlene's a very nice lady too, and they were just so nice to me. But she goes, that Craig, that Craig, all he talks about is fat people. Why does he talk about fat people like that? And my go-to answer is, when you traveled the world with the most dysfunctional drug addicts that ever existed, and you were in a plane crash, who knows why you're the way you are? You don't know why you're the way you are. I mean, can you change, Craig? And would you want to try? I tell people, that Craig. And I'll be honest with you, my love life probably suffered a little bit from it because, I backed Craig up on all the fat talk, and some of these women, man, they don't like to hear that crap, but you can't go and change a guy who's the way he is. And is he wrong? No, he's not wrong.
And
one
this
thing
bird
about
you and this bird you cannot change.
and so do I try? And John Neal told me one time, he goes, that's Craig's basically Craig's best friend, you know. And John Neal told me one time, he says, Griff, man, don't egg Craig on with that fat talk. But you gotta let a guy be who he's gonna be. You know, he's gonna be what he's gonna be. And am I gonna like go try to change Alan Collins? Am I gonna like take Alan Collins to the psychiatrist because he's stomping on the gas pedal and turning the wheel? You know, I mean, you can't force somebody to be what they're not. So recently, this person that I talked to, and she's probably going, oh God, I didn't mean to start this, but no, it's all good. But yeah, you cannot change Craig. So what you got to do is you got to try to at least laugh at it, you know. But Craig's on a mission, man. And if you look at that picture right there, yeah, you know, he's got a right to talk. I mean, he was there. Is his bedside manner, you know, something that could use a little tweaking? Probably, yeah, I'd say. But I'm not gonna tweak it. I'm gonna let him be who he is, and that's why Craig and I get along so well because I don't try to change Craig. I just laugh at him. And if you know, if you can't laugh at it, then that must mean you're fat.
Well, I was,
Right.
I was traumatized. When I was obese like that, I was going through some mental stuff, I guess, and drinking, and just my life was, being turned around, and I was going through some mental stuff, and I gained a bunch of weight, and you know what, I didn't realize it. I really didn't realize it. I'd been thin my whole life, and all of a sudden I got to be looking like that, and I can kind of really didn't even realize it until it was like, oh shit, just look at yourself, man. And I was traumatized, man, and I goes, what the hell am I gonna do? And I just faced reality, and I says, man, you're just gonna have to stop eating, because I'd fasted before, when I was running around with Artimus and we were health nuts. Fasting is good for you, So I was used to it, so I just jumped on board. In 10 months, I lost 80 pounds. But yeah, I was double obese. But common sense will tell you, in my opinion, that if somebody gets mad because you're talking about being fat, it's because you're ashamed of yourself. And so what are you going to do? You're going to run out in the kitchen and you're going to try to get something to comfort you, and you're going to get you a donut or whatever. And you're already having emotional problems. That's why you're eating, and that's comfort food, and you're just making it worse. And you know what, so I am not a psychiatrist, but you know what a psychiatrist would call that? That's borderline insanity. I mean, in my opinion, if you're upset because you're fat, and so you eat to comfort yourself, and you're getting worse, that's borderline of insanity. And I don't know, I'm not a psychiatrist, but prove me wrong.
Weren't you like at a party, Craig, and then some guy was there, and he goes, "Man," he said, if I keep going, I'm gonna get as fat as you." And you looked at him, and you were like, "I'm not as fat as you. You're fatter than me." And then you guys got into an argument, and then you made a bet. You made a
Yeah,
bet
yeah.
that you how long of a time
Well,
period?
I had a head start on him because
Well, you
because
got divorced, and you that's
well,
that right there is a head start.
yeah,
When
but
you get a divorce, yeah.
I had a friend that died. He was 450 pounds, and I was taking him to aquatics and stuff. So I was kind of had a little head start on him, and then I'd already made up my mind that I was going to lose that weight, and then he wanted to bet me $100 that I'd get to 250 before he did, and I goes, I goes, I'm not even going to take your bet because I'm gonna lose this weight. And he was shocked. In 10 months, I'd lost 80 pounds.
Well,
And
move over a little bit, Craig, so we can do a side by side. The other way. The other way. Go the other way.
oh, wait a minute. Here, let me go.
There you go. Look at that shit, man. Your head is twice as big in that other picture. It's a waterhead.
Well, look at that neck, man. I mean, look at the neck, you know?
I'm trying to think of who you look like. It's like you remind me of somebody, but I can't. Like Raymond Burr or something.
That's how fat my neck was. But man, I tell you, when I lost all that weight, I still got a little bit there if I put my chin right. But man, when I lost all that weight, I'm like, God, what am I going to do with that chicken crawl there? But luckily, I got pretty good genes, and it went away. You know.
Yeah. So anybody who's mad at Craig, like if your husband's watching the Stone Roadie show and you know he's slim and you're fat and you're like thinking that asshole, look at him right now in there, and then now you can get him back. You can look at that and go, oh, yeah, you were fat too.
Well, I have got older in 10 years, so you can tell that.
Well, yeah, but your skin was stretched out, makes you look younger. Fat people look younger than skinny people.
I went to the eye doctor today, and the receptionist said, "How you doing today?" I said, "Oh, you know, I'm doing okay. You know, I'm not happy about being 73, but I do like the fact that lived my life at the best years the earth ever existed through the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Yeah, me too.
You know, we saw so much stuff happen. My God, we basically went from the horse-drawn carriage to the rocket ship.
Yeah, and I've seen about as much technology as I want to. I don't think I can handle any more.
I wouldn't have wanted to live here without air conditioning and heat, and a refrigerator and all this. And man, we've seen everything come. You know, we've seen the invention of music, you know, and all through the genres, man. We've seen all of it. God, it's been a fascinating ride, you know. But
we had to live through that rap shit.
But we're supposed to be moving from the third dimension to the fifth dimension here, really, really in a expedient movement here, since this comet or moon or whatever they're saying is coming. But that's supposed to be what do they call a fallen angel or something coming to save us or something? I don't know.
I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. I just want to get past this damn election. That's all I want to do, because
what a mess.
Yeah, I mean, it's like going in slow motion, but it's slowing time down. So anything that slows time down, I'm good with.
Well, supposedly all the truth of everything's supposed to be coming out here quick, but it's just awful funny that all this stuff is just all in the last couple months. All this stuff is kind of surfacing. You know, the fact that you can't fly over the North or the South Pole is awful freaking peculiar.
I saw this thing. You know who Andrew Tate is? Craig. Yeah, he's this bald-headed kickboxer who's a billionaire, him and his brother. And he's like a chauvinistic pig, but he's hilarious. And there was this meme up, or it wasn't a meme, it was like a TikTok of it's an article that said, oh, Taylor Swift just came out on the Diddy list. And he's laughing his ass off. She's
been on that, I think. I've seen her bunch of pictures.
Well, if that's the case, her career is ruined. Yeah, that's why he was laughing.
LeBron's on there, but he'll just go play basketball in China. He does most of the time anyway.
Yeah, but you know that Diddy list. I mean, I don't know. I got a feeling they're going to pay somebody off to shut that up.
Oh man!
Because look what happened to Epstein. That, you know, you ain't heard crap. I'll believe it when I see it. You know, I'll believe that when I see it.
Leonardo DiCaprio is one of the main people on there. He was always the first one invited, was what I
Oh,
heard.
DiCaprio was there at the Diddy
Oh,
Freak Fest?
he was on the top of the list. Yeah, Diddy said that, he was like the first one invited to every party. Well, he lived on that island, and on that island that's where, oh, there's a bunch of people that have houses.
Yeah, he's got his own island, yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell lives right next door to him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and yeah, there's a bunch of.
Yeah, I can't wait if that list does come out.
I seen the list. I see. Yeah, I
Oh,
see.
I think there's more of a list though, because the lawyer hasn't released it yet.
It's got a couple of duchesses on it. The Duchess, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll get back to, I was talking about the monument here, and yeah, we can go through that first, and then I got a few other things we need to talk about, and then we'll do a little more jibber jabber if you want, Craig. Yeah, so you guys go check out hotel rooms there on the 19th and the 20th there at the monument, and from what I understand, on the 19th, there's supposed to be 5 plane crash survivors there, which that's subject to change. Starting from 11 to 5, there will be music, 3 bands. First up, 11 to 12, is going to be the band Slash, not to be confused with Slash or Guns N' Roses. It's just a band named Slash. And then next up is the Pedestrian from 12:30 to 1:30. Then after that, Lone Star Skynyrd, which I just saw those guys up in Miami, a really good band, and they're headlining. They are the official monument band. So that's going to be really cool. And then after the music will be a candlelight vigil and a moment of silence so we can recognize the legacy of Lynyrd Skynyrd. And then the 20th, more information to come on that. I may get in touch with old Mike Roundsville and have him come on the podcast so he can talk about everything and make sure that I got it right. And I'd much rather him do it than me. So, so yeah, that's the kind of like the gist of it, except for on the 20th, which usually everything goes off the day before, and that was a pretty good time there, wasn't it, Craig, when we was up there
Oh
last year?
yeah, I had a blast, man.
Oh
Yeah.
man, it's like,
Well, that was the first time I ever went,
yeah.
and to be able to actually go out to the crash site with that drone and that
Yeah.
whole thing, that was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and usually they got a four-wheeler, and if you get over there, you start hobnobbing with the right people, they'll take you for a ride back in the woods and stuff, which, is pretty cool. But there's just a lot of room. It's not like it's crowded and congested, and there's always like people that you're going to run into that It's just a really cool place. It's just
it was cool meeting all the people I met and stuff, all the fans, and
yeah,
God,
really.
I signed so many autographs. I forget, some little boy had me sign, and forget what I signed for him. That's funny.
Oh yeah, that was
was
yeah,
signing
he
all
had a poster or something.
it was something weird. I signed a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that's because I told him not to be like Timmy. Remember? I was telling him. I said, "Did you
Yeah.
watch Timmy?" I said, "Don't be like Timmy." Yeah, so that's happening, and then I got my buddy Brian Bodkin, who, of course, he was on the Muscle Shoals edition of the Stone Roadie show when I went out on the road with Griff Martin to Muscle Shoals, and Brian Bodkin was out there, and he's sending me a video of Jimmy Johnson explaining the whole thing about how whenever they did the recording with the band Lynyrd Skynyrd and it didn't turn out and Ronnie got pissed off. And yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. And he's sending that. I think I'm going to be getting it within the next few days or something. and I'll get it all edited up, and we can take a look at that. That's going to be cool upcoming stuff. And tomorrow night, I'm going to be going to the St. Augustine Amphitheater to see Fortune Child and the Black Crows. And I appreciate Fortune Child getting me those tickets. I got a couple tickets, and I found out that Shelby is in town up in Jacksonville. So I said, "Hey, Shelby, come over and get you a free seat." And so that came out good. For me and for her. So we're going to both be up there at the amphitheater tomorrow night to see the Black Crows and Fortune Child. You guys come up there and get you a ticket and come check that show out. Also, the guitar that Gene had is now sold. He sold it to somebody. And the cross, my cross, you notice that cross is missing. I took it down because somebody bought the cross. And what else?
Whoever Gene was pointing out on that last video, you said, "Where's Craig on that guitar?" And Gene was pointing at Raymond Watkins, who was holding the flower up for JoJo or something.
Yeah, you weren't on there.
They didn't. They took me out. I was sitting to the right of Artimus, behind Steve, smoking a joint, and all the smoke was coming up, and
Yeah.
they took all that out. They took me and the smoke and everything out.
It might have been because that smoke was hard to burn into that wood or something.
Well, they took me out of the picture too. I was sitting
maybe because the guy that made it, maybe the guy that made it's fat.
Oh, that's probably it. Yeah. Yeah. Probably. It's probably it. Yeah.
I still got this thing here, this Lynyrd Skynyrd newspaper article. If somebody wants to send me an email, make me an offer on that. And I still have the Blue Book, which is the new old stock 1980s version of the book Gene wrote, and it's got his little thing in there Gene wrote and signed. So that's still up for grabs. And the vest, right, Craig?
Yeah, the
vest is still. So yeah, it says to Joe, best wishes, Billy Powell. So if your name's Joe, there you go. But you have to be small. But it's a big small. Right?
Yeah, it almost fits me. It almost buttons. Comes about 2 inches away.
Yeah, but Craig's somewhat emaciated, so
I'm a normal medium, but
yeah, Craig.
But I wear a large too. I think this shirt I have on's a large.
Yeah, Craig's ass is probably about 8 inches wide.
Yeah, this shirt's a large.
But at least you don't have a New Jersey vagina. Like Ronnie. Ronnie had that New Jersey vagina, according to Gene, right?
Yeah. This shirt I got on now is similar to the one I had on a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has got
that's oh man, that's that's probably in the first 20 podcasts right there, wouldn't you say, Craig?
Yeah, probably. Well, yeah, because that's when I had the windows behind me.
Yeah.
And then I got the idea to put a green screen in all the windows and then make it look like I was in outer space. And then I made them, and then I didn't think it worked, and then I went and bought a normal big green screen, and then it does work. I just never used them. I'll have to do that. I'll have to turn the camera around and go out my window.
Have any of you guys been keeping track of the disaster, the hurricane disaster up there in the mountains? I been watching this guy. He's called Cletus McFarland, and if you want to see some cool stuff, he's flying his helicopter around. He's just a kid, and he's only been flying helicopters for 4 years, and I don't know, I think he might have got the money, a lot of it to go up there from his YouTube channel because he's got a pretty cool YouTube channel. I like to watch a lot of aviation stuff on YouTube, and that's how I got to see him. But yeah, Cletus McFarland, just Google Cletus McFarland hurricane disaster, and you'll see a bunch of stuff of him going up. And they say that those Apaches, that the military, basically the National Guard, is up there, but those Apaches, they're just not like, the right application for getting into some of those places. It's unlevel ground, and they're so big, and so they really need like small helicopters, and that's what this Cletus guy's got. And he's going in and he's pulling people out of there, and he's he's also taking them supplies like water and food and stuff like that. And I was kind of laughing. It's not really funny, but I was kind of laughing because he landed and this big old fat lady runs up there to get her supplies out of the helicopter. I thought of Craig. And I was like, what would Craig say? Poor lady, she's starving now, man. She's a big old lady. She's used to eating biscuits and gravy. And now, now they ain't got nothing. So
them people got to eat every 3 hours, man. Yeah, they're yeah.
So it's not funny, but it's just like Craig's talking about. When you get acclimated to that diet, and then they cut it off, and of course we got that whole thing going on with the strike on all the those guys shipping, which I think they have gone back to work, and they're going to work while they negotiate. But I could be wrong about that. But I think I read that
those people that are in North Carolina, I heard there was problems with looting. That people that didn't have anything, and they were going around, and just whoever had something, they were taking it.
Yeah, well, I guess that's what's going to be like,
Man, when you're starving and don't have no water, and
that's what you got to do.
Steal something somebody else has got, or die, you're going to steal something somebody else has got. But man, there's a lot of speculation about that storm being guided through there. And now they're coming up saying that, those are big lithium fields up there, that there's some of the richest lithium deposits there are on the earth are up in them mountains, and they've been trying to negotiate deals with those people, and the people didn't want to sell. So, and then there's also crystal, some of the finest crystal in the world they find there in North Carolina, and that's what they make chips out of, the computer chips. And I've heard that wherever you find that quality of chips, you find good quality deposits of gold. So they're saying all that water that came rushing down through there, it's like stripped all that topsoil off there, and kind of excavated it, and kind of brought that gold up to the surface. And those people might become really wealthy if some of them people up there had the amount of gold, because they found a lot of gold in North Carolina. So since all that water kind of cleaned it all out for them, they might be some big gold deposits.
Well, where that all hit, and I was watching the helicopter footage, and it's right there where my house, as a matter of fact, my old farmhouse that I had up there, my second home that I lost in the divorce. That's right, ground zero right there, and the Tow River and Spruce Pine and that whole area is where my place was. And I even recognized some of those roads. And the problem is, everywhere that the best place to put a road is along a river, because that the river is usually where the most population is, and it's easier to put a road beside a river than it is to gouge one out through the side of a mountain if you can follow the river. And so all of those roads, those low lying river and the bridges and all those roads are all destroyed. And there's just no way to get in there. And so the only way to get in there is in those helicopters. And so it's a mess, man. It's just terrible. Um, Glad I sold my farm. Glad I got divorced and sold my farmhouse because I don't think it would be there anymore. And and they don't have flood insurance up there. They don't think about they're going to have a flood like that. They're up in the mountains. So a lot of
That's
those
where
people,
people go when there's a hurricane. That's where they go. It's 2,500 foot elevation where they were at, kind of in plus. And oh, what else? One other reason. Oh, it's 300 miles inland from the coast, and it's 2,500 plus at foot elevation. So you wouldn't,
I'm
so.
sorry, Craig, but that when you're trying to be all serious and you're all honkered down burning weed, it's hilarious, man. And you're right below the Skynyrd boys.
They're all up there looking at me. Look at them all up there looking
You're
at
down
me.
in the creek.
Looking
You're
down here at me going,
yeah,
what
you're
the heck? What the hell going on down there, Craig? What the hell you doing talking about
yeah,
it?
you're in the water. You're
You
in the
got your
creek and
you think you're some kind of a big shot now. You got your podcast going on talking about us. Looky here, looky here.
well, the only one that's still around is Artimus on the end over there, and you're down in the creek burning one. But yeah, so God bless those people in North Carolina, and Dawn, our friend Dawn, who had a tree fall right through her house, and she was on Facebook asking could people, donate some clothes to her because, I mean, she's not like broke or anything.
Small. She's a small size 9 tennis shoe. She's mostly for workout.
She's a model, and she does all these pageants, and she's a great person. She donates she donated some stuff to the thing that I held at the Polk Theater, but yeah, she's right there, man, with all that mess.
Yeah, shorts, yoga pants, size 9 tennis shoes. Yeah, that tree went right through her bedroom. I guess that's where her bedroom was.
Yeah, she sent me a message and she said she finally got a cover on her roof, but there's animals coming in her house because you got a big hole.
Open.
Yeah, she got a big hole in the side of the house.
Yeah,
she's just got a cover where it hit the roof and put a big hole in the roof, so at least it's not raining in the house. But she's got
a couple.
Critters,
she got a couple of
in.
dogs and a cat. She can't go to a hotel. I don't think she's still got any power. I think some of her neighbors do, but I don't think she does.
She needs her people they need like a travel trailer, man.
Oh,
you could
boy, I bet, yeah.
Get you a generator and a travel trailer, and you could stay in that until they fix your house. But man,
yeah, she lives kind of in the woods. It looks like man, it's hard to tell what would crawl in that window at night.
I don't think she's been in that house 3 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah, a couple weeks, yeah. I just moved in the house. God, I'm so happy, and yeah,
Good
2 weeks
God.
later, she got a tree fall through it. God, what luck!
So, so Craig, you got anything else you want to talk about? Got any donations or anything you want to mention?
No, well, we can mention Automotive. He's entered in some kind of a costume contest or something, from what I can gather. And there's like a $10,000 prize money, and he's been in first place for like two weeks, I would think, but. He says out of that prize money, if he wins, he's going to donate $3,000 of it to the forgotten survivors. So, that's not 100%. It's just if he wins that contest. But he's been in first place for like a couple weeks at least.
Yeah. So if you're friends with Automotive on Facebook, go to his page, and I think he's got a post of him all dressed up like some kind of a ghoul or something. I think it's for Halloween or some Halloween thing or something. And and see where you can vote on that. I think there's a way to vote on it. So that'll help us out there, help him out.
Yeah, yeah.
So, anything else, Craig? Anything else you got to
No,
talk about?
no, I ain't got nothing.
You want to talk about any more fat stuff?
No, I
Or you
think we
got it all out of your system?
I think it kind of got the point across that I think I have I think in my mind I think I'm on a mission from God to save people,
Yeah.
and people say that I've had that because of me that they every time they open up the refrigerator they hear my voice and stuff. It's kind of amusing. There's a couple dozen people that say I've helped them, and to me that's worth it. And if there's people out there that can't handle it, I'm sorry, but I'm the if it costs me subscriptions, that's the way it goes. But if I've saved a couple dozen people's lives, man, that's
Well,
gold.
if you save a couple dozen people's lives and they went on a diet and now their cholesterol's better and they're not
Well,
going
they're
to have a heart
happy.
attack.
My God,
Yeah.
you're so
But
much happier.
there's that one person who might go back there and commit suicide. So at least you're ahead.
God, I think of where my head was at when I was that fat and the way I feel about it now. God, I was miserable then. And that's why people don't want to hear the word fat because they're ashamed of themselves for being like that. Or they wouldn't get mad.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just common sense, in
and
my
Craig's just
opinion.
kind of like Richard Simmons, but he's an angry Richard Simmons.
You know, I'm like a
Where
drill.
Richard Simmons would go, "You can do it, you can do it." Craig's like, "You fat ass." Yeah, Craig.
It's like that
Really
one
glad
military
I'm not
movie.
a fat effer anymore. That was really stuck bad, in my opinion, you fat effers.
There's a military movie where the drill sergeant catches this guy with a donut in his foot locker. Oh my God, I don't remember the name. What is this?
Well,
A donut? In
more and
case
more
I get
people,
hungry. Sir.
I
Oh, is
think,
it?
are accepting it because there's a comment in here about it. I'm going to read, and this guy put in here, and it's funny. So I think people are lightening up on it. They understand that it's just if you can't laugh about it, then you got a freaking problem. All right, Craig, let's jump into the comments here.
Oh, I thought we were done.
Are we done?
I thought
We
we were
can
gonna,
be.
I thought we
We
were gonna wrap it up. All right. Yeah, well, the dogs went in on it now, so
okay. Well, you got to answer some questions, man. Does James McNeely, does Craig have any stories about hanging out with the Who?
no, the Who was before me. The only time I hung out with any of the guys at the Who was with Roger Daltrey. It was at the Hard Rock Cafe in London, and I was there. We were at the Hard Rock Cafe in London, and Daltrey came in, and like I said, I went to Keith Moon's house at one time, but um, he wasn't. He was upstairs. He didn't come downstairs.
Oh, Sally Arnold said that Roger Daughtry had more women in rock and roll than anybody she knew.
Yeah,
Said that guy was just had the women.
yeah, he's the only one that I remember that was in the Hard Rock. There might have been another one. I don't remember. Uh, yeah, I think he's the only one I ever met from the Who. Yeah, I don't have any stories about the Who. That was a couple months before I got with the band.
Yeah,
right after.
yeah, you didn't really get around them that much. So
Mm-mm, no.
yeah, there you have James Keneally. Ronnie 5129. Um, I don't know about you, but JD Vance looks like Don Barnes' brother. He does kind of. I guess he could be. I don't know. I can see a
Kinda,
little
I guess.
resemblance.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
a little resemblance
I never
there,
thought
huh?
about it, but yeah.
He must have been watching Don Barnes or something, and J.D. Vance came on, and he goes, "Wait a minute, that could be his brother."
Come to think
Um,
of it, he kind of looks like Kevin Elson's brother.
well, I had to say, man,
Who I
at
think
least
passed away. I'm not
at
sure.
least he killed that debate. That was good. He did a good job on that debate. I mean,
Yeah, they fact checked him and he threw it right back in their face.
right. Yeah, he said, "Well, you weren't supposed to fact check me, but now that you're fact checking me,
He threw it right
let me just
back in
go in
their
there and
face.
talk
Yeah.
about it."
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so biased. It's not even funny. My
It
God.
was 3 against 1 again, But but you can't go playing around with Vance like that. He don't play. And he's got a good bet. He's kind of like a Trump with manners. He really, if you wanted a
Yeah,
Trump,
yeah.
if you wanted a Trump with manners, there you go.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Trump with
Yeah,
manners. So
yes, pretty much.
I think that's why.
I don't guess he agreed with Trump on a few issues before, but he said he was wrong.
Yeah, that's one thing he says. It's
But
if you can at least say you're
I've never
wrong.
disagreed with anything Trump had to say, so I don't know
Yeah, well, Trump's
how
yeah.
he would disagree with anything Trump ever said wrong, because I don't think he's never heard him say anything that wasn't pretty much a fact.
Trump's the biggest, best comedian I've ever seen. He's just freaking hilarious. The guy's hilarious, man.
He seems like he knows the outcome of this, and he's not afraid to ride it out. He just seems like such a smart guy that he wouldn't get in this if there was any way to lose, because
You would think, yeah.
he's never even he just goes, oh well, let's just keep going. It'll work itself out eventually. You people will figure out what's going on, because
And you know what?
that's all it is for the American people to figure out how stupid they've been all these years, and let all
Yeah.
this stuff happen the way it is. What is it? BlackRock? They've bought up, like, God, I don't know how many percent of the homes in the country, and they're not selling them. They're for rent. You can't.
Yeah, they want to rent them. They
Yeah,
want to
they don't
control.
want you to
Yeah.
own anything. That's what it's all coming down to. Pretty soon, and nobody will own anything. Well, you kind of don't own anything now.
Yeah.
When you're born, you're given a social security number, and that's like more like a corporation number. your your parents are labeled, what are they labeled, something on your birth certificate. Forget what their exact.
But your birth certificate's basically it's a stock share. You're a share of stock. That's what
But
your birth certificate
But
is.
you're not. They got your parents' name on there, but they're not labeled as parents. They're labeled as donors or something.
Well, they look at you
Or
as
informants, or it's some kind of weird. Yeah, there's indication besides parent. They're not your parent. They're your something.
they know you're going to make a certain amount of money for them in your lifetime. Therefore, you're a stock share. They know that you're like a farm animal to them. You're going to go out and you're going to pay them all these taxes in your life, and you're worth X amount of dollars to them.
Yeah,
But they have
basically.
to, make sure that when they dangle that carrot in front of you, that you die before you can get it, or they're going to lose. So yeah, so they got to make you sick. They got to, they know just how many chemicals to put in the chemtrails to get you sick enough to where you'll live to just about where you can draw your first check on Social Security, and then they're going to, as Ronnie would say, chunk you into clay.
But y'all, if you're using Tupperware out there, stop using it. Especially stop putting it in the microwave. I mean, you've been doing it a long time, but it ain't helping none.
Yeah, and
There's
stop
so much
drinking
plastic, and stop drinking stuff out of
the city
plastic,
water. Yeah, stop. Don't
and
drink city water.
stop wearing the polyester and all this yoga pants and all this plastic stuff. It's all that stuff screws up your body's frequencies. Wear
But it's
cotton
it's
or
okay to smoke massive amounts of weed.
that's natural. You either wear cotton or hemp or linen, and watch out for all this laundry detergent you're using. I don't know the particular ones that are bad. I think Arm and Hammer is not really good for you. But quit
I
drinking
tell you what,
Gatorade, and Gatorade
let's
ain't the same as it used to be. My buddy, is sick, really, really sick, and he said, "I've been drinking a lot of Gatorade trying to get my hydration back up, and they've changed the formula in that." I told him to stop drinking that. It's probably why he's so sick. They've changed the formula in so much stuff.
oh well,
That
it's got
one
that
that
high
one chip
fructose.
that one chip place just got bought out by Pepsi, and they were natural, I guess. And we're gonna find out what how many ingredients Pepsi will add to the formula. That just happened this the other day. Pepsi bought out some chip place that was for $1.5 billion, and yeah.
Yeah, so there you have it. Craig will you've got any questions for Craig about your diet or anything, just go ahead and
Yeah,
email
just
him.
ask me. I'm a professional on a diet. Just ask me, I'll
Yeah.
tell you.
Well, you got to be doing something right. You outlived all the other Skynyrd boys, so something you're doing
I
right.
got pretty good genetics though. Like I said, my sister's 90, She's 17 years older than I am, and she's healthy.
Oh, who's that guy? Valley, that singer. What was his first name? Valley.
Frankie Valli, oh
Frankie
my God,
Valley. Have
they
you
got him
seen
up
that?
on stage lip syncing, and
Oh
oh,
my God. He
he
looks
looks
like,
dead, and he don't blink.
no, he don't
And he
blink.
don't blink.
Yeah,
It's
he
crazy.
he looks scary, freaky.
Oh, it's
Otto
crazy.
better watch out. He'll win that contest Otto's in because he looks like a freaking mannequin up there, man, or something. Yeah, his body looks like a twig, and his head looks huge, and it's just all frozen, and his eyes don't blink, and he barely moves his mouth when he lip syncs.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
yeah, he
Oh
barely,
man.
but yeah, he has no air coming out of those lungs when he's lip syncing, man. It's just like, you know, he's barely breathing. It's hilarious.
And he's up against beside all of his backup singers are all young men, and then
Oh yeah.
they open a hole up and here he comes for the main for
Oh
the main
God.
hook, and then he comes and parts through him and he looks like they just dumped him out of a coffin.
Yeah, he's even funnier than oh, what's that kid, the Michael Jackson wannabe? Oh God.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Corey? Is that what is
Oh,
it?
Corey Feldman?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, with a he can't he's
The guitar hero.
yeah.
Oh God, what a joke.
But you know what though? That guy's in pretty good shape. I mean,
Yeah, 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 yeah. You gotta give him
he was out there with his shirt off, and he's like probably in his 50s and he's in great
yeah,
shape.
yeah, you gotta give him that.
He
Yeah,
might even be in his 60s. I don't know.
he's Michael Jackson's age. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he's in pretty good shape. Oh, anyway, okay, let me see where we at here. Um Yeah, okay. Patricia Lynn says, Griff, uh, you do a better interview than those commie bologna sandwich people who did the Waltz Vance debate. Yeah, those those ladies were bitchy, man.
Those women got crucified. I watched a lot of people just say, "Man, those women were just bitches."
Yeah, they were bitchy, and then they were like ganging up on Vance. Vance didn't play that crap. I was proud of him, man. They were over there trying to gang up on him, and no, he didn't. He let them have it in a nice way. Mike D says another coincidence about Alan is that he passed away on Tuesday, just like the song was written about his wife Kathy. I guess Alan passed away on Tuesday.
Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah.
That's what he says. Yeah, old Mike D.
Huh.
So I guess he did his homework on that. Brad says, I'm the Brad that donated he donated, I guess, what was it, $50 to me, Craig? And wanted to help me with the expenses on the road. Yeah, appreciate that. He says really got some great information, and he also donated to Mr. T, he says, for the election.
Bradley Mutt. Yeah, Bradley Mutt.
Yeah, appreciate that there, Bradley. Yeah, thanks, man. And yeah, I donated to old Trump too. I sent Trump some money, and hopefully, my little bit helps. I don't know what it would do, but then Steve Jones, he says, I was shaking like a leaf on a tree, asking Artimus to sign the DVD.
Oh yeah, we got $150 bid on that too.
Oh, did? Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
just I told him. I said I couldn't. I told him I said I don't imagine anybody's going to bid much more than 150, but I got to put it on the STONED Roadie show and say, hey, I got a bid on it for 150. So.
Well, apparently he told Artimus that the money was going to Mark Frank, and that's why Artimus.
Oh yeah. He did tell me that money goes to Mark Frank. Yeah, that's right. I forgot that. Yeah, glad he reminded me of that.
Yeah, so that's why Artimus did it, because that's his buddy.
Yeah.
And then
Mark grew up next to Pat. Pat was Artemis's first wife.
Oh, okay. And then he says, I could be wrong. I think it was Swamp Music, not I Need You, that Bob could not figure out the feel on the drums, which makes sense because it's more intricate.
Yeah, that's a weird. It's got some kind of a backbeat in it or something, don't it?
Yeah, it's a great song though.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, it's got a weird kind of beat in it.
Yeah, if you think about it, it'd be hard to play to that.
I can remember. I got Leon's bass part going through my head.
But the drums would be kind of hard for that because it's like
that is a complicated beat. Yeah, I can recognize.
Yeah,
I can. Yeah.
And then Autumn Honecker, the reason things are so bad here in Appalachia is because the dams failed. Yeah, I guess a lot of dams broke up there. And I never really remember seeing like dams when I had my property up there. It was just a lot of shallow rivers. And I remember going up in the mountains, and I would go hiking up in the mountains, and I had a buddy that I would go with, and I looked up in this tree. It was about 50 feet in the air, and there was like a big blue tarp and a spare tire, and I go, how did that crap get up there? And he goes, man, when that water comes running down and we get a major rain, he goes, these rivers get really deep, and it's hard to imagine, but when you got that much water running down all those mountains into one little place, that's what happens. So yeah. And then I did see on Facebook where they were saying that there was some dams that were getting ready to fail too. So that maybe that's up there near Asheville or something. I don't know. And David Hester says, too bad Bob Burns lost his drumming mojo, but I'm glad Artimus took his place. Mikey said he was the only drummer that auditioned. What do you mean by that? I guess Bob Burns didn't audition.
There was no other drummer. That's why I said I think Ed King was pretty instrumental in Artimus getting that gig, because I think Artimus is the one that kind of said, "Hey, Marshall Tucker and Charlie were talking about this guy up in South Carolina," and then that's when Artimus played on Saturday Night Special, and I don't remember him ever auditioning. I think he went up there and played on that record, because they were doing that thing for that movie. The Longest Yard.
With Burt Reynolds.
It started out with Saturday Night Special, the song.
Yeah, I had to go back and watch that.
They needed a song for that movie, and that was it. Yeah, from what I remember.
Yeah. Well, there was only 2 original drummers anyway. The rest of them, post plane crash. However, Joe Crimp did practice with him quite frequently.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, well, that's where Slowpoke rehearsed out there when Skynyrd wasn't out there rehearsed in the Hell House. That's where Slowpoke rehearsed. So
yeah, and Joe has this blue set of drums that he got and he's had forever. I swear, I think his mom bought them for him or something. And they were in Hell House, and I got to help him haul them around and stuff. And it's kind of cool that those drums were in Hell House. So,
well, I'd like to have Bob Burns's for a drum kit, that blue Ludwig set he had.
Yeah, I believe that's what Joe's got, basically.
The blue Ludwig set?
He's got a blue set of drums. They're not Bob's. No.
Yeah, I don't remember what Bob. Yeah, I don't remember what.
Yeah, I don't. Bob's. No, they're not Bob's. And then let me see here. Winslow Red Cross. Craig, were you with Alan when he bought the double cutaway Les Paul specials? Can you give us a little background on Alan buying those guitars?
I don't recall being with him when he bought that. No. I remember when he got it, but I wasn't with him when he got it. I was there when he bought the Explorer, and I was there when Gary bought the Les Paul. But I don't remember being around when he bought the double cutaway. No.
But you tuned them up and stuff, right?
Well, yeah, but I don't remember being around when he bought that double cutaway, the Tobacco Sunburst one. No.
You don't know where he got it?
I remember when he got it, but I don't remember. I wasn't there when he bought it. I was there when I was at the guy came to the hotel with the Explorer and the Les Paul, Gary's and Alan. It was the same guy. I remember that. That's why I know it wasn't Eric Clapton's.
Yeah. Which is a lot of people think it was.
No, I remember it was the same. Gary and Alan got their guitars off the same guy. Same guy.
So you debunked that.
Yeah.
I heard that from a lot of people. That's like an urban myth.
No, it was the
Even.
same guy. I'm positive it was the same guy.
And then the cake girl. Can you give us an update on those having health problems like Cousin Figel and Chad's wife and other folks? Well, we know Wheelchair Chuck is doing okay now.
Yeah, he was
And
on vacation over
yeah,
in the Cayman Islands. Went over there to some wedding, him and his wife, and cousin Figel. He's kind of under the weather. He's not doing so great. He wishes that he could do better. His kidneys are hurting, and he's got vertigo, kind of. I guess he's kind of dizzy a lot, but he says I'm still here.
well, the fact that we were able to sell his hat and stuff like that helped him
Oh, that
quite a
helped
bit.
out of
So
that
yeah,
helped immensely. Yeah.
so maybe if he's got some more stuff he wants to send, we'll put it up for auction. And then Chad's wife, she's doing good, right, Craig? I hear her
Yeah,
all the
she's
time.
just healing. Yeah, she's just healing.
Yeah,
When you have that operation like she had, you can't lift 10. I think she's able to lift 10 pounds now, but that's it.
it's funny because I'll get Chad on the phone. I'll be talking to Chad, and Lisa's kind of hanging around at the same time, and we all kind of have a conversation there, like a three-way.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'll say something to Chad, and then Lisa will, like like Chad will say something, and she'll go, that's bullshit. She's a good girl. She's funny.
Yeah, he just puts it on speakerphone.
Yeah. So yeah, she seems to be doing okay because I've talked to her and she's
Yeah.
yeah. And Reverend Randall says, Sweet Home Alabama was in the mix of background music for Mr. T's rally, not the
Yeah, I read that.
intro.
Yeah. I guess you're allowed to do that just over the PA. It wasn't a
Yeah.
real official uh, theme
Yeah,
song.
it wasn't the official
Yeah.
intro music. Robin Blankenship. And these comments here came the ones I just read were comments that had to do with the last podcast. These comments came from 225. We never did go over these. Robin Blankenship says the New Jersey vagina, kind of like when a woman wears too tight of jeans. Ronnie had a camel toe. Maybe it was because Judy cooked too good. I don't know why it's a New Jersey vagina. We need to ask Kathy Godsey that question. Well, Kathy, what's a New Jersey vagina? Evidently, there's got to be something to do with that. That gene may either made up or something that's going on in New Jersey. But I never heard that before. That's why I asked Gene, what's a New Jersey vagina? He must have dated some lady that had one of those. And then Samo, 1959. That's a good year there, Samo. That's the year I was born. He says, I was watching the podcast Wednesday morning, and about that time, Gene was showing the Hell House wood. It started to pour rain. The wind was blowing like I've never seen before. I think I saw a fat lady fly over the house eating a donut. And all of a sudden, the power went out.
He didn't see a cow, he saw a fat lady.
That's what I told you. The people are starting to lighten up, man. That's what we need. And then Kimmy, the first time I heard the word vagina was on that trip to Florida. I thought it was a great name to name my daughter when she'd be born, but instead I had a son. All righty there, Kimmy. I might have tweaked that a little bit. It probably wasn't exactly the way it went, but I think I dressed it up to make Kimmy look worse than she really is. Uh, Patricia Lynn, always good to see Gene. I didn't realize his skin cancer was melanoma. Glad they caught it and removed it. In case I don't post this, I'm not a flight attendant. I just fly a lot. And right now she's in Costa Rica. She's that one lady who said that she likes to listen to the Stone Roadie show on the plane. And what was it? Every now and then she has to cover up the phone because of the rebel flag or something like that. Yeah, and so we were wondering, was she a flight attendant? Was she? No, she just likes to travel a lot. So yeah, okay, Patricia Lynn. That's pretty cool. Let me see here. Kimmy again. Hi again. I'm Ramblin' Rose. By now you guessed that. I was talking to God in the kitchen while cooking lunch. God told me I'm a bitch and an MFer. So if God said it, it must be true. Kimmy's kind of got some religion, I noticed in her comments. She got some religion going on now. So that's good.
Kimmy's losing weight too, ain't she?
That's what she says. And then Becky Nickham, you know you're a good friend to Ronnie when you can tell him how his vagina looks. I knew that Gene Odom, Virginia, New Jersey vagina comment was going to kick off a lot of stuff here. Cheesehead, how about another Joe Crimp podcast? I tell you what I was going to do. And Joe, if you're watching, I don't know if he's still watching the podcast. I know he watched the one when I went up to Miami, but Joe, man, what I want to do is I want to come get you and I want to take you over to that teen club where it used to be. I know they tore it down. They tore it down just a couple years ago because I went over there and saw it. I think I rode over there with Joe, but I want to record Joe explaining what happened that night that they hit the oak tree and show where the oak tree was and show the house that they ran up into the carport and get Joe to do the whole explanation of what happened that night. That would be some really a good exclusive Lynyrd Skynyrd exclusive for the podcast for an On the Road with Griff Martin. I think I'm gonna if Joe will do it.
That would be a real good one. Yeah,
he's a little camera shy, so I don't know if I can get Joe to do it, but I'm gonna try. Let me see here. Oh, Robin Blankenship, who has put a gag order on Randall Hall and why? Well, what I heard there, Robin, was that Randall sued Lynyrd Skynyrd, and I believe he was asking for more money or something, and I believe he sued him. I could be wrong. This is just what I heard. And
that's a normal thing for them when you work for them, or well, not me. I never signed anything, and Gene never signed anything.
Right. And so he was looking for more money, and I think they made some kind of a deal. But
well, when you're a band member, yeah, they made everybody like that. They would have made him sign a thing that he couldn't write a book or do a movie or nothing. I never.
So, but if I got him on the porch of doom over there at Jimmy's house, Jimmy Withers' house, maybe I can get him and Derek Hess. Because I don't know that for a fact. I'm just assuming because I heard that. I've heard that from people.
Most everybody has to sign a release.
But there's things he knows he can talk about, and he's a cool guy. Randall's a really nice guy, and if I sat down with him and talked about it before what we were going to talk about and stuff like that, I think he'd probably do it. He's a nice guy. And maybe Derek Hess. Didn't Derek say he would come on or something, Craig?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he
Derek
did.
said he would
We
come
need to,
on.
we
So
need to get a hold of him, yeah.
we got to work that. We got to work that. Hit it while it's hot. And then our buddy Steve Jones says White Castle uses real egg on their breakfast sandwich, and they damn good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I saw a thing today that they have a McDonald's in China, and that if you ate if you ate a McMuffin made in China, you would never eat a one made in the U.S. again. Said they don't use chickens eggs in China. They use rooster eggs. Oh, that's how phony shit on damn FakeBook is, man. There's people are making videos and telling people how to fix their car, and if you did it the way you do it, you'd screw your car up. It's horrible the shit that people are putting on the internet. It's horrible.
Well, there is some stuff that's total bullshit.
Like they
too.
got Trump and waiters coming.
Yeah. And then the one guy was talking about that all the rocket launches are fake. And I know for a fact that's bullshit because I launched the damn things. I've seen them. I've seen them launch. I've seen them blow up. I've seen the space shuttle come back into, I hear the sonic booms. Man, that's not bullshit. They're launching rockets. I'm telling you.
That's pretty cool that only people that are privy to the Stoned Roadie show are pretty much sure that, from your word that, the payloads that go up do go up there because I put them in space. Yeah,
that's right. I've seen them. I've worked in the clean rooms right beside those satellites, and I've seen them loaded into the cargo bay from the rotating service structure. I've seen the damn rocket before the day before it launched and closed out the launch pad and was the last one on the launch pad, and then the next morning the thing was gone, and then there was all this destruction because when those rockets launch, it just pulverizes the fence on the perimeter of the launch pad. It bends metal and steel and burns bolt heads, and it's just a major destruction. And it takes months to repair all that stuff. And so there's all kinds of what we worked was post launch was called launch damage. We had paperwork and we worked launch damage. We went in there and we first thing you did was you had to clean everything up, and then all of this rocket that solid rocket motor fuel that gets blown down onto the pad, it all gets washed into these what they call the holding tanks, and they have to treat the water, and it's just massive amounts of solid rocket dust that's turned into mud, and it's just like nothing but a bunch of aluminum. And so that ain't fake. That's some real stuff. But enough of that. Let me see here. Redneck Ways asks, didn't the plane have fuel gauges? Something doesn't set right with me on that.
So it was a 1953 airplane. I mean, it had gauges, but you really can't trust a gauge. But you're supposed to stick a stick in the tank. And I don't think they stuck the stick, or they miscalculated, or I don't know what they did, but they didn't do something right, obviously.
Well, Gene Odom claims, and and I'll go ahead and tell you, I don't mind because he tells everybody this. He claims that Ron Eckerman took that plane to Georgia and got some cocaine the day before, and then came back and didn't tell anybody. And that plane took an extra trip that it wasn't supposed to take, and that's why they ran out of fuel. What say you about that, Craig?
The day before?
Yeah.
We did a show the day before.
Well, weren't
We
you
did
in
a
South
show,
Carolina
and then we got a day off. We did a show, and then we got a day off, and then we flew.
Right. The day off is when the plane went to Georgia for the cocaine.
Well, I'd never seen no cocaine. They never found any. I don't know. I'm sure I had weed on me too, but they say
I'm
they
just
never
telling
found
you what
it.
Gene said. He said that Ron Eckerman took the plane to get some cocaine, and that's why it was low on fuel. Now, I report, you guys decide. So, anyway, that's that. And I think Craig would know, probably.
I don't think that happened, but I don't know everything.
Right. Yeah, neither do I. I wasn't there. And a lot of things.
I've been wrong. I've been wrong before.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds
I've been
good.
married. I've been married 5 times. Hell, I've been. It just proves I'm wrong a whole lot.
Yeah, and 5 women can't be wrong.
No, they're all right.
Let's see. Who's this? Somebody. Oh, this is Dave the Disciple. He says, I just bought a mint condition Gene Odom Blue book signed by Lacey and Gene, and coincidentally it says to Dave on it. That's kind of like anybody that wants that
cool,
vest that from Billy Powell that says to Joe on it.
Yeah.
So that concludes the comments and questions, Craig. So yeah, you are released now to
all right, boy.
To go smoke all the weed you can smoke. And,
well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and then I'll edit the podcast, and then I'll send it back to Craig, and then Craig's got to put it on the YouTube channel.
Yeah,
it's a process.
Well, I really want to thank all you skinny normal people out there, and I want to thank all you fat people too. But for watching the Stone Roadie show and putting up with my unusual sense of humor. So I think it's a sense of humor. I don't know. But anyways, happy trails to you until we meet again. And see you later, alligator, after wild crocodile. And that's a cut. We're out of here.